Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So last time that I made a video, are snake expensive to keep? I had asked at the end if anybody had any other questions for any of my other animals, including my snakes, to let me know and comment, send me a private message, whatever you wanted to do. I got several different questions, but I got one question that was asked about 5 different times. So obviously people really want to know about this. So I'm here to answer that question. That question is, how do you handle snakes? People that were new snake owners wanted to know how to handle them properly and to not stress them out. If they were slightly afraid of snakes, how to get over that fear. How to get your snakes as calm as this. So I'm here to try and answer those questions a little bit and get you on the right track. So keep in mind that this that I'm going to say today can pertain to many different snakes, not just corn snakes. It can pertain to pretty much any snake that is not venomous. I have never owned a venomous snake. I doubt I will ever own a venomous snake. So those are like totally different category on their own. But this that I'm going to say today can pertain to corn snakes, pythons, hognoses, drimacons, all of those types of snakes. Essentially the colubrid family and the python and the constrictors, all that. So normally I have notes with me to kind of keep me on track here. I don't have notes today. This is kind of just a let's film day. So I could be all over the place here, but I'm going to try and kind of keep it simple. First off, to handle a snake, you have to think like a snake. You have to understand the snake. So what I mean by that is snakes really have 3 categories that they fall into. They have food mode, they have calm mode, and they have defensive mode. Okay, so we're going to kind of go over those 3 modes, and it'll help you better understand what your snake is thinking and feeling. So first we're going to do calm mode, which is pretty self-explanatory. This is calm mode. She's in calm mode right now. She's looking around, she's exploring, she's not trying to get away from me, she's not moving really quickly, she's just kind of lazy and moving. That's it. So this is calm mode. This is what you want to see when you handle your snake. This means that they're comfortable with you, they trust you, and that you're doing a good job. The second mode that we'll look at is food mode. So the biggest myth out there about snakes is that snakes can be aggressive. No, they don't have aggressive mode. They have food mode. Food mode is mainly mistaken as a snake being aggressive, and it's not. It's just looking for food. Okay, so back in my video that I made feeding my corn snakes, which I will link up here, I had mentioned that you don't want to feed your snake in the enclosure. You either want to have a separate bin that you can use to feed your snake, or you want to do my method with my corn snakes, which is simply take the snake out, put the food in, and then reintroduce the snake back into the enclosure with the food. So that way that your snake does not come to think that every time that these doors open, there's going to be food coming at them, because that's when they will just automatically strike out thinking that it's food and that they're hungry. Once you get that into their minds, which does not take long if you do one of the 2 methods that I mentioned, your snake will not be aggressive in the enclosure because they're not going to be looking for the food. So that's the second mode. Third mode is defensive mode. Defensive mode is when a snake gets scared it gets uncertain, and it goes into protective, and that can also be seen as aggression, but it's not. It's just defending itself because it feels threatened. It doesn't feel safe. So the main reason for a captive snake to go into defensive mode is if you startle it or you yourself are uncertain. So that's what we're going to address today, is how to be certain and how to do it properly so that your snake does not go into the aggressive mode. So, with my snakes and with yours, once they get to know you well, you're not really going to have this issue. Like, I can do anything I want with this snake, and she's totally all right with it because she knows me. I've had her for years, 5+ years now, so she knows me, she knows what I'm doing, and we're good. But if you are a new snake owner and you've just gotten your first snake, then that snake is not going to know you. It's not going to know what to do with you, and you're going to want to have to train it. So the first thing that we have to look at is predators. In the wild, what are a snake's predator? They are anything larger than them, especially birds. That's their main predator, are birds. Hawks, owls, eagles, all of that. How would a bird pick up a snake? They come from above, right? So that's one thing that you do not want to do with a new snake, is you do not want to come at it from above, because they do not know you yet, and they're automatically going to think, predator, I'm in danger, and they're going to act defensive. So what you want to do to handle your snake is you always want to come from below the snake, because a predator does not come from below, ever. It always comes from above. So that's what you want to do. Come from below your snake, and they're not going to see you as a predator. They're going to be much calmer and much easier to handle. So I'm going to skip to another clip here of me picking up my other corn snake, Ember, and I'm going to show you how I pick her up out of her enclosure so that she does not see me as a predator. Here you go. Okay, so this is how to pick up a snake. First off, I'm going to remove this so I can get to her easier. She's in the back corner, in there in the leaves. That's like her favorite place to hide. So, how am I going to do this? I am going to use my one hand to do my camera. Never had to pick up a snake with a camera before. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get in here and you're going to want to show them that you're here. So as you can see, she just came out. That's her head right there. She just came out. So she's looking at me going, what's going on? What are you doing? And this is where a lot of people get afraid, because now they're looking at them. They're like, what can I do? How can I get them out now? You just do it. Just do it. That's all it is. Just go for it. So you don't want to hesitate. You don't want to come at them very slowly, because then they're going to get hesitant. So what you're going to want to do is just go for it. So as you can see, I'm just going to go right in and just put my hand right under there, and I'm going to scoop her up right like this. I'm just going to put my hand in, brush, scoop, bring her out. Just like that. As you can see, she never tried to bite me. She didn't try and get away from me. She didn't try any of that. I just scooped her up and brought her out. You just have to be confident. Don't hesitate. Don't go in, out, in, out. Just go for it. Okay, so now that you've seen that, that's one thing. You want to come at them very smoothly. You don't want to go at them and retreat. go at them and retreat, even if you're afraid, because that is showing your snake hesitancy. It's showing them that you're afraid. So is there something to be afraid of? So then they go into defensive mode, and it's not going to end well. You want to muster your courage and just slide your hand in there in one smooth motion, pick up the snake and bring it out. Okay? If you do that, 9 times out of 10, your snake is not going to react. It's going to let you handle it, and you're going to be absolutely fine. Now, if you do happen to get a snake that has had a rough life before or hasn't been handled much as a baby, something like that, they might still go on defensive. You might get a bite. But good thing is, corn snakes don't give very bad bites. So don't be afraid to get bit, because it's not going to hurt that bad. It's mainly the shock of the strike that you're going to react to. It's going to be done before you even know it. And 9 times out of 10, especially if it's a baby corn snake, they can't even break your skin. They're not even going to make you bleed. So it's just do it. Do it. Handle your snake. Go in there smoothly. Pick it up. The more you pick it up, the calmer it's going to get. And you're going to end up with a snake like this, which is what you want to see. So, that's it. That's the key to picking up a snake. Do it smoothly. Do it with confidence. Do it a lot. When you first get your snake, you're going to want to let it stay in its enclosure for like 7 days. Don't touch it. Don't do anything with it. Just let it settle in. Let it figure out its surroundings. Then you're going to want to feed it. And after you feed it for that first time, if it feeds all right, it digests, it uses the bathroom, does all of that, then you start handling. And when I say start handling, I mean start handling every day, except when you feed it again to digest. But every day you want to handle that snake. You can start with short time, like you can only handle it for maybe like 5 minutes at a time, but handle it. The more you handle it, the calmer it's going to get, and it's going to end up being a snake like this, where you can do anything you want. So now this snake knows me. I can come at her from above. I can pick her up. I can do whatever I want with her, and she doesn't care, because I started out only coming at her from below, coming at her with a smooth motion, and all that fun stuff. If you are afraid of snakes, not many people on my channel here know this, but when I was younger, before I had snakes on my own, I was petrified of snakes. Let that sink in. I was petrified of snakes. You would not find me near a snake, ever. If somebody asked me if there was an animal that I feared, it wasn't spiders, it wasn't anything like that. It was snakes. Let that sink in, because now I love them. And how I did that, I simply interacted with the snake. I mustered my courage. My friend had a corn snake, and she let me start off by just petting the snake. No, actually I started off with being in the same room as the snake. That was the main thing, was just being in the same room as the snake. Then I started petting the snake. Then after I got used to that and I was okay with that, I moved to holding the snake. Then after I held the snake, I started picking it up out of its enclosure, which was a very big step for me, because once my friend was handling the snake, I could see that snake was calm. It wasn't striking. It wasn't doing anything like that. So I was okay with taking it from my friend. But picking it up from the enclosure, 9 times out of 10, when you go to pick up a snake, they will turn their heads towards you to see what's going on. And that, for me, was a very big trigger of my fear, because then that snake was facing me. It could easily strike out at me. So that was a big step for me, was to be able to pick it up out of its enclosure. And it was just doing it. I just had to get over my fear and just do it. Once I could do that, that's when I started having the thought of maybe I wanted to own a snake. I was really falling in love with this snake. And I was like, maybe I'd like to have one of my own. But the thing was, could I feed it? Because again, with the feeding, it's the striking. So I was like, can I feed it? So I got my friend to let me feed her snake. And I found out that I could do it. And so then I bought this snake. This was my first one. And I absolutely love them now. They are just so misunderstood. People think that they're aggressive and that they strike because they're angry and aggressive. No, they strike because either one, they think food is nearby, or number two, they're scared and they need to defend themselves. That's the only reasons. So it's just doing it. And so I hope this video helped you if you're thinking of getting a snake, or if you have a snake and you don't know how to handle it. If you need me to clarify anything that I said today, please send me a message. I'd be happy to either just reply to you in text or to have a personal video with you, video call, and just explain things to you. I'd love to do that because I really think that snakes are just this misunderstood creature, and that it's so much better if people are educated about them. So hit me up and I will try and do what I can for you. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, follow my Instagram, my Twitter below. You can get a hold of me a lot that way. I post pictures and videos. And you'll see more of these cuties. Not to mention all of my other animals. Have a good day, and I will catch you in the next video.